When people listen to what they call classic rock on oldies radio or on even on Muzak, and they hear songs like "Close to You" or "We've Only Just Begun," who are they listening to on drums?
Wow. Well, they're listening to me, of course. But you're mentioning songs that are just so close to my heart, that, especially the Carpenters' music, because I had designed a set of drums. Today they call them kits. So I designed a drum kit for myself that basically, long story shortened, basically I wanted an octave of drums so I could play some melodies. When I used to tune my drums, I tuned them to the melody of "I Got Rhythm." Boom, 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 boom. I mean, that's the way I tune my drums. And music is my life, and it always has been. And the records that I did with the Carpenters happened to be amazing records that were so beautiful. Karen was a wonderful drummer. She just didn't have the studio chops, as we say, to make the kind of records that we made. So it was Joe Osborne and I and Richard, of course, on piano. And of course, hit after hit after hit. Thank God. But the songs, I mean, the Paul Williams songs and all these wonderful songs, I mean, they're just, music has always been a major part of me. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And I lived by, I guess, by the lyric of the music that I've listened to all my life. I grew up in the big band era, and all of those songs, all the Sinatra stuff, and all those people, they were all my favorite singers. Who knew I was going to grow up and
play with them?
And play with them, exactly.
You played on a couple of Sinatra records?
Well, my favorite was That's Life.
That's Life.
It's a great record for drums. But I also did Frank's Comeback, which was Strangers in the Night. That's when he left Capitol Records, started his own company called Reprise, and he was being distributed by Warner Brothers. So it was Warner Reprise. And Frank Sinatra came along and he signed all of his pals, the entire Rat Pack, the entire Rat Pack, all those people out of Las Vegas. Everybody, including Joey Bishop. I mean, we recorded everybody connected with Frank. Keely Smith. I can't even think of them all.
I mean, you played on not just Sinatra records, but all those Rat Pack.
Oh, of course, everything.
Okay.
Everybody loved somebody. It was Dean's great big. It wasn't long ago. Dean Martin, when we did sessions, we were pals as far as I was concerned. I didn't golf with him. I wasn't a close buddy of his or anything, but he knew my name.
Sure.
And he used to do interviews, and he used to talk about, I got Hal Blaine on drums, and if he plays them drums any harder, we're going to give him the Golden Truss Award. I mean, that was one of his great lines. And it was maybe just a year ago the Golden Truss Award came to me from his foundation. I never knew where it came from. It's
a Golden Truss Award from which foundation?
Dean Martin. It says right on it. It's like an Oscar. I thought it was an Oscar. I thought it was a joke. It says presented to Hal Blaine, the Dean Martin Golden Truss Award. I almost fell down. I couldn't believe that I was receiving this. It's one of my favorite awards. I mean, I have a trophy case at home full of awards. This is amazing. I was just inducted into the Percussive Arts Society
as a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, exactly.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Or not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Hall of Fame. I was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1960, which was some honor, for me. and so many others. I mean, the halls of fame of Modern Drummer magazine, and I've got so many I can't tell you. I wondered if I still I do. I didn't believe it because I brought nothing with me when I came from the desert. My business card, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Nashville Hall of Fame, Hollywood Rock Walk of Fame, Modern Drummer Hall of Fame, Classic Drummers Hall of Fame, and now Percussive Art Society Hall of Fame. I have to get more business cards made.
And I bet radio and records and what do they call the royalty payers? ASCAP and BMI? Oh, they don't pay. Who pays you royalties?
Well, the royalties that I get are from the now Screen Actors Guild, ASCAP, and Federation of Musicians. We get a royalty depending on our work.
So people would assume then that the recording artist would get royalties from those records, even the ones that became hit singles.
You know, I tell people, like anybody else, we were no more than a guy putting the refrigerators on a refrigerator door. You know, we were workmen. We did our best to make sure. I never expected Herb Alpert to say, "Hey, that bass drum made our record. I'm going to give you, X." I never thought about it. There are a lot of guys who did think about it. They said, "I won't work with those people unless they pay me XX." I said, "I'm a working man. I love to play music. I don't care what I play. Just let me play."
What will people see in this movie, The Wrecking Crew, that...
I think they will wake up to the fact that they had no idea that the Wrecking Crew were making some of their favorite records in the world. We started saying we were the original Milli Vanillis. The guys that lip-synced or somebody else sang their music. We strictly were guys called in. The bottom line was economics. The economics of recording is very expensive, and the average, what we call garage bands today, these kids, and they're great players, they don't necessarily read music. They'll rehearse for 6 months before they even think about it. Right. Because if they go into a studio and they're paying thousands of dollars for studio time, it's impossible. I mean, unless you're the Rolling Stones or something. But they would call us in because we could do 3 hours, we could do 2 songs, 3 songs. We've done as many as 6 songs in 3 hours, half an album.
What are some of the, when they say the Wrecking Crew, were you the only percussionist that would be considered as part of the Wrecking Crew?
Well, as the drummer, I was the one that really started calling us the Wrecking Crew, because the old established musicians, when we came along, they were the 3-piece suit guys and their neckties, and they carried...
Symphony players?
Symphony players, amazing, classically trained. We were just guys off the street. That's what it looked like to them. That was them, because we were in Levi's and T-shirts, but we were all graduates of percussion institutes,
right,
of music schools. Some of the guys were BAs of music. They had no idea that we could read music, that we knew anything about music. We were just hocking on the drums as far as the drums were concerned, because the drummers refused to play that music.
Play that rock and roll.
The established music, the established drummers said that genre, they're not going to touch any of that. It's junk, it's garbage, it's going to be around 10 minutes. Well, 50 years later, it's still around, still going. We just did Glen Campbell, probably his last session for his movie. They're doing a film on Glen Campbell now. And the director is James Keats, great director that did the Johnny Cash movie, which I happen to be... if you want to shoot down here a little bit.
Esther. His belt buckle. There you go. That's from the Johnny Cash movie?
No. The director of Glen Campbell's movie is the director of the Johnny Cash movie, Walk the Line. But Johnny Cash was a friend of mine and personally gave me this, one of my favorite
Beautiful.
one of my favorite pieces of memorabilia that I wear when I can.
How does this Wrecking Crew movie make you feel now? After, I guess, have you been in semi-retirement or you still play?
Oh, I retired a number of years ago, but thank God, you're talking about royalties. I have, I guess, the biggest AF/M pension in the country because I've recorded, it's just going on 6,000 songs. That's just phono recordings. We're not talking about soundtracks, television, pilots, commercials. It's up in the thousands. I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly, but I am working on it. You know, I'm working on it. It's an egomaniac's biggest tribute in the world is to look at all of the stuff he's done. Fortunately. And fortunately, so much of it were hits. You know, so many of those songs were, all those records of the year that I was on. The Grammy record of the year, 6 in a row I got.
How old are you now?
Today's my birthday.
No, honestly?
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How old are you turning?
On the air. I just turned 84.
84.
Hard for me to believe. Thank you. Hard for me to believe.